Thailand's tense political drama got even crazier this week after the country's constitutional court removed Prime Minister Pheu Thai Shinawatra from office, making her the second Prime Minister dismissed in just 12 months. Amid the unfolding drama, Thailand's previously sidelined progressive reformist movement emerged as the kingmaker of any new government, forced to choose between two rival camps, one led by its ideological foe and the other by a one-time ally it now sees as a traitor. So in this video, we're going to explain the unfolding political turmoil, including the Prime Minister's dismissal, the formation of a new government, and why the country is ultimately barreling towards a crucial snap election. Explore which world leaders are winning and which are losing every week with our new podcast, The World Leader Leaderboard. Find it over on the TLDR podcast's YouTube channel or in your favourite podcast app. Let's start with why Pheu Thai was removed. Last Friday, the Constitutional Court dismissed her, saying that she committed an ethical violation in a telephone call with Cambodia's de facto leader Hun Sen, leaked in June, in which she appeared deferential to Hun and even criticised the Thai military, at a time of heightened border tensions with Cambodia, which later erupted into a 5-day military clash in July. The downfall of Pheu Thai, Thailand's youngest prime minister and its second female one, was as rapid as her rise. She only became prime minister a year ago, after her predecessor, also from the Pheu Thai party, was dismissed by the Constitutional Court for a separate ethical violation. Pheu Thai is the daughter of Pheu Thai founder and former prime minister, billionaire Thaksin Shinawatra, who was ousted by a military coup in 2006, just one part of a multi-decade struggle between Thaksin's populist political movement and the conservative, royalist, pro-military establishment that also overthrew his sister Yingluck in 2014. Altogether, in the past 20 years, 6 prime ministers from or backed by the Shinawatra family have been removed by the military or the judiciary. But in a remarkable turn of events after the 2023 election, Pheu Thai struck a grand bargain with that conservative establishment, which saw Pheu Thai form and lead a coalition featuring conservative and military-aligned parties that had once been its rivals. The deal enabled Thaksin to return to Thailand after 15 years in exile, and also kept the election-winning Move Forward Party, a progressive youth-orientated reformist movement, out of power, with it later being dissolved by the Constitutional Court in 2024. But things started to go pretty wrong for Pheu Thai. The uneasy alliance it had struck began to unravel, particularly as Thaksin's outspokenness, despite him not officially being involved in the government, saw him run afoul of his erstwhile rivals. At the same time, the Pheu Thai-led government was dealing with increasing public disapproval due to the leaked phone call scandal, governance problems, a weak economy, and the perception that it had betrayed voters by allying with the conservative establishment. But with Pheu Thai now removed, where does that leave Thailand? Well, in need of a new government. Remarkably, it was the People's Party, the reincarnation of Move Forward, that became kingmaker. A dwindling pool of potential prime ministers, as only those put forward as nominees at the last election are eligible, meant that only 2 names really remained viable. The first being Pheu Thai's third and final nominee, and the second being the leader of the conservative Bhumjaithai party, Anutin Chanvirakul. But to form a government, both needed the support of the People's Party and its 143 MPs. Recognising their position as kingmakers, the People's Party quickly came out and said it would not join any coalition, but would vote for the prime ministerial candidate of a party that commits to dissolving parliament within 4 months in order to hold a snap election, as well as a referendum on rewriting the military-drafted 2017 constitution. Both Pheu Thai and Bhumjaithai agreed to these conditions, leaving the People's Party with a big decision. Who do they trust more to carry out these promises? The party's spokesperson was blunt on Monday, saying, "We don't trust either." At face value, Pheu Thai seems like a more obvious choice, not least because the ideological gap between the two parties is smaller than that between the People's Party and Bhumjaithai. However, the People's Party still harbours deep distrust towards Pheu Thai for its decision to go into coalition with the conservative and military-aligned parties just 2 years ago, a move that was seen as a betrayal of the reformist movement. Additionally, it's probably Pheu Thai that has most to lose from a snap election given its collapse in polling, so the People's Party may not have total faith that Pheu Thai would actually dissolve parliament. On the other hand, Bhumjaithai, a conservative and staunchly monarchist party, is the People's Party's anathema and ideological opposite, given its consistent opposition to the kind of reforms that the People's Party and its predecessors have long campaigned for. National broadcaster Thai PBS likened the People's Party's situation as having to choose between an ex who has betrayed you like no one ever did, and somebody you, with every ounce of your body, have hated the most in the whole world. Eventually, after days of internal debate, the People's Party announced that it would vote for Bhumjaithai's leader, Anutin, to become the next Prime Minister of a minority government, with an agreement stating that Anutin will dissolve Parliament within 4 months of the new government's policy statement, paving the way for an election, at the same time hold a referendum on establishing an elected constitutional drafting assembly, or move to start that process without a referendum if the Constitutional Court allows it, and finally, that the new PM will not use any means to try and establish himself an alternative parliamentary majority. But the drama didn't end there. After the People's Party announced its decision, in a bid to thwart the formation of the new government, Pheu Thai's acting Prime Minister said that he had asked the King to dissolve Parliament in order to hold a snap election, stating that he had concerns about the potential instability of a Bhumjaithai-led minority government, although there is legal debate over whether an acting Prime Minister actually has the authority to dissolve Parliament. Either way, the People's Party probably won't be complaining. For at least 2 months, it has consistently called for the dissolution of Parliament and a snap election. So it might either get one as soon as possible if the dissolution goes through, or if not, within 4 months per its agreement. The People's Party is hoping to capitalise on what the Diplomat magazine called the Thai electorate's increasing frustration with the country's seemingly perpetual political instability and infighting. The most recent quarterly poll by NIDA from earlier in the summer put the People's Party way ahead on 46%. Bhumjaithai is also in a strong position, and has risen in the polls since 2023, while Pheu Thai has suffered a significant collapse, so the results of a snap election could be a dramatic reconfiguring of the political landscape. If the People's Party does indeed win a strong victory, though, that will not be the end of Thailand's turbulent political drama, rather just the beginning of the next phase. The People's Party, like its predecessors, fights for wholesale progressive system change, putting it at odds with the conservative, royalist, pro-military establishment that has, over the years, proven willing to use an array of methods, from court cases to outright military coups, to maintain its position. Now, when you're diving into complicated topics such as this, it's quite easy to get caught up in what you know, without even missing a beat. But what about the stories you don't see? Or what happens when the stories you do see are purposefully leaving out information to try and sway your thinking? Thankfully, our sponsor this week, Ground News, are experts at helping with just that. Ground News is a website and app that collects thousands of articles from across the world and puts them all in one place for you to easily compare how the news is being covered by different outlets online. For each and every story, you can see the number of sources reporting on it, as well as the political bias, factuality, and ownership of said sources. For example, if we take this story on Pheu Thai's bid to dissolve Parliament, you can see that there are 60 sources reporting on it, with 10 of them coming from the left and 8 of them coming from the right. You can even compare the headlines to see what either side is saying, with the left framing it as a dramatic power struggle and the right framing dissolution as a last resort and underscoring legal uncertainties. That's not all though. Ground News also has tons of super handy features. Our personal favourite is their blind spot feed. Here you can find stories that have been disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum, helping you challenge your perspective on someone else's media reality. Here at TLDR, we're passionate about helping you understand how bias may affect the media you consume, something Ground News also firmly believes in. Because of this, we're offering 40% off the Unlimited Access Vantage Plan subscription by using the link in the description or scanning the QR code on screen. You can only access this discount through our link, so make sure you go to ground.news/TLDR or click the link in the description to get started today.